In this video, I would like to discuss about the subconscious. The subconscious is the basement of our lives. It is the place where we keep a lot of our old memories. It's very much like the basement to a house. We store our old photos, our old stuff that we don't necessarily need, but we keep to remind us of something of our past. And when we have a scary dream, a very traumatic dream, what happened prior to that dream is you got triggered. Now, you might not be aware of the exact moment in time you were triggered, but energetically something has shifted inside of your body, in your energy. It could be due to a sexual counter, it could be due to a kundalini, it could be due to really pretty much anything. And the shifting in your body is very similar to, let's say, the shifting of a geographic region that causes an earthquake. Okay, the land is shifting underneath the house, and what happens is the basement it's moving, and all of the stuff that was stored in that basement is moving too, so it's being thrown around in different ways. And that's when we get into the subconscious, all the stuff that was kind of just here in this kind of formation all of a sudden has moved, and you might not be able to intellectually know detail for detail what that thing moved is, but you can feel it on a body level. But when you dream, that's another beast of itself, because when you dream, you're very much this open vessel. And the dream state is automatic. It depends on what vibration you enter in the sleep. Okay, so before you go to bed, you could be doing mantra or meditation. So you enter sleep with a very clear mind, very balanced, very peaceful, or you could enter from maybe a lower density of thought, meaning you there was something that bothered you before you went to bed, so you're kind of setting up your dream state from maybe a lower vibration, so your dreams are going to kind of calibrate to that vibration you are when you enter into that open vessel state. When we enter our dream state from like a lower vibrational kind of state, we are going to connect with, you could say, our lower energies. So we're not just these high vibe, angelic frequencies. We're also these lower energies, because the earth is these lower energies. Okay. And those lower energies, a lot of times, that is the place where we have the most unresolved, kind of incomplete memories. And those memories are not just our Sachic record memories of our past life, it's also our ancestral memories, our collective memories, just our DNA, okay? We're all connected. So our DNA has memories, so it's not just your own personal past lives. It could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So those lower energies, just like the basement, is like the lowest point of our house. And when we dream, okay, and let's say we enter that dream from a lower vibrational state, or even if it's a higher vibrational state, if we did mantra music before we entered into that sleep, or even gong music, either way, that lower energy, okay, in that subconscious that something has shifted, the basement, all this stuff is moving around, you can feel it, and it comes up. When we talk about coming up, because it's very much when you're dreaming, you can kind of walk around your kind of energy space, your vessel. You can kind of walk around, because it's the psyche. So you're very much just walking around the psyche realm, or the astral realm. That's what it is. And you have total access to it. And that's why it can be quite intense, because you have total access to this astral realm. And in this astral realm, the subconscious messages are not like in the conscious wake hours where it's just kind of cut and dry. It's this is, you see it like it is, this is that, and that is that. It's very much apprehension. Our wake hours is very comprehension. Okay, I see that, that's that, I see that, that's that. But the apprehension of our dream state, our subconscious, is, it is more so your feeling than the object you see. It is the relating to the object that matters. That's most important, because everything that we are is relating to the subject. So our past lives, to our traumas, to the stuff in our basement. I mean, people have just like an old pear in their basement, and like, why do you, this is like, ooh, what is that? It's because the person relates to it. That pear reminds them, maybe that's the last thing their departed lover touched, so they're like, I gotta keep that. So it's all about relating to the subject. That's why we keep things in our subconscious, and most likely it's relating from an unresolution state or incomplete state that keeps us tied to lower energies. That's what the basement is. When the basement gets too heavy, okay, we're kind of binded to that. Okay, heavy with just stuff and heavy with just memories. So that's what kind of keeps us maybe kind of heavy in the lower energies, and not necessarily like rising into the lightness of heart, the play. So with the gonging, I like to say it's a gonging that's happening in your dreams when you're experiencing it. The traumatic is the stuff, the lower energies is wanting to clear itself out. So it's wanting to have fresh air. Okay, the fresh air. So I'm going to share my dream, okay, so you can guys get a little bit of a better idea of how to relate to stuff in your basement differently, so you can set yourself free, so you can clear the incomplete, unresolved, so that you can rise up out of the binds you have to the lower energies of memories of your past life and your ancestral history. So I had a dream last night where I was a teacher, and we were on a field trip, and my class was elementary level, so I believe about third grade, third grade, and we were in a foreign country. We were in a museum, and there was a fire. And I just remember in this back area, could see through this open door area, there was one of my students and an employee were trapped in a fire, and we were paralyzed with fear. Me and my class, we were all just like watching. We couldn't go in and help because the fire was blocking us, and I just saw this little girl and this employee literally burn alive. This employee was trying to help the girl, but the girl was already on fire, and then she caught on fire, and it was very vivid. And I just remember my students watching this, and I turned to my students and I said, look at me, look at me, look at me. And they looked at me, and because I didn't want them to see, I didn't want that to be embedded in their kind of memory, so we ran out, okay, and I just remember we need to sing. I said that we need to sing. So I grabbed my students. We were all very traumatized because majority of them saw what happened, and we held hands in a circle and we began to sing or chant the mantra, a call. And it was very much like this: a call, a call, a call. So I began to sing. My students began to sing as well. And I just remember hearing in my head the music. All of a sudden, it became like a whole symphony of just a call. And the thing about a call, which is a very interesting mantra, and how my higher intelligence chose a call to relate to that traumatic memory, is because a call is a mantra that we chant or sing to those who have recently departed or are departing, or to new souls that are coming in. So basically, something triggered me throughout my day. So it kind of set me up for a night's sleep of the, my lower energies in my embodiment kind of moving around, and I got to experience that through walking in this astral realm. And I just walked into that lower energy of the subconscious kind of moving around due to the earthquake of a trigger, okay, the shifting of my lands. And the shifting of the lands, just like you can imagine platonic plates, what's happening is they're moving and opening is happening. So when that opening happened, I got stuff kind of rised up out of the deep lands of my being, and that was what it was. That energy, not necessarily like that happened in a past life, it could have, but it was just something there that I needed to look at and relate to differently. And since I've been doing mantra music, and I've been inputting a lot of sacred sound into my vessel, I pulled sacred sound, a higher vibration. I pulled it deep into the lower energies of my life, the lower energies. And that sacred sound transmutated that cellular memory into peace and resolution. So I woke up feeling quite intense. Okay, I was like, oh my gosh, it was so detailed and vivid, and it was really intense. Just like when you're in an earthquake, it's really intense. The shifting of your house, like, whoa, 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 what's going on? But through the relating to the subject differently, that lower energy, it clears out. It clears out. Because it's all about the way you relate to the thing. If we relate to the thing from an incomplete or unresolution, such as we do for a lot of our past lives, we know because it bothers us. It bothers us. So I remember waking up, because this was like the last dream I had in the set of dreams, and I just remember thinking, while I was chanting the Akal in my dream space, kind of waking up, literally I was hearing the symphony of Akal, and I just remember thinking, the acceptance of death. The acceptance of death. That was just the message that just came to me, the acceptance of death. So that right there, that higher intelligence in relating to the subject of death, such as people being burned alive, that unresolution or incompletion of an idea becomes resolution, and therefore there's peace. There's peace. And that's very much why we have those scary dreams. And if we input sacred sounds such as mantra music, we can, because mantra music is ultimately there for the subconscious. Because if we talk about the new paradigm of Earth, well, it doesn't start in the higher vibrations. We think it does, but it really starts at inputting higher vibration into the lower energies of our lives. Okay, such as our lower chakras, and the subconscious or the psyche of our lives has to do with the lower chakras, because that's where our ancestral kind of history is. The cosmic egg, this kind of area, is where all this, psyche and everything that's ever happened on Earth is very much stored here, not in these higher vibrations. So the higher vibrations are there, such as sacred frequency, sacred sound, sacred mantra, sacred kundalini yoga, is for us to input as much energy from the higher frequencies of our embodiment, input into our lower energies, because even Yogi Bhajan said, lower energies, clearing that part of us is a lot more difficult than clearing the higher chakras of our being, because that's when we get into that ancestral kind of psyche subconscious formation that's very much we don't necessarily have the strength to face it, or have had in the past. And the strength to face it is just relating to it differently. So we didn't have a lot of higher vibrations in our dark ages, as we know, to relate to the subject differently. So when traumas happened in the dark ages, as we know, we didn't have the strength to face it. So what we did is we just kept it in our lower chakras, and it just gave it to our ancestral lineage and so on and so on. And now we're here, and we have all of this stored, like, old, really old, outdated kind of subconscious fears, because our ancestors didn't know how to face it, because they didn't have sacred sound or access to sacred sound. But now we do. So that sacred sound, that mantra music, that kundalini we input into our body gives us the strength to be able to handle ourselves with grace when we have traumatic dreams or just the stuff in the subconscious. So that's why the subconscious or the psyche is really stirring up inside of us, because we have access to higher frequencies to be able to handle it, to transmutate it. To any lower energies of our lives, we need higher energy to transmutate that thing. If we're trying to transmutate lower energy with lower energy, it's not going to work. That's why our ancient past, we have such a repetition with the same old war again and again and again, because we're trying to resolve this kind of heavy lower energy with lower energy, and that does not work. So the planet, there's such a flood of higher energy being given into this planet, into our bodies through Yogi Bhajan, many yogis and saints and light workers, is because we need as much higher energy as possible to transmutate this low energy. This is the only way we'll be able to move it out. Because when the shift's happening, because the shift is happening right now, okay, this is the Aquarian age. So it's about higher wisdom. It's about higher intelligence, authenticity, integrity, dignity. Okay, all the things that we didn't really work on in, the Piscean age. It's now the time. Okay, higher intelligence is the Aquarian age. Higher vibration, a higher frequency of thought, body, and motion. More organic, natural, and honest is Aquarian. So with that, all of our bodies are experiencing like an earthquake. The planet itself, everything is shifting. And we need as much higher energy to be able to handle the stuff that comes up when those platonic plates of our lives shift, and the stuff in the deep crevices, the deep core of our lives, the deep, dark, and icky stuff comes up out of that kind of opening. And we're like, whoa, because a lot of us just suppress it. And that doesn't, you're just putting it back where it came from, and that's not going to help you. You're just putting it back into the basement where it all has been, and it's not going to help you, because there's just junk you need to get rid of. So the higher energy is giving us the energy, the strength to be able to face the stuff with grace, such as a call, is a higher vibration. When I input that higher vibration into that scary dream of people being burned alive, basically what I've done is I related to the subject from a state of acceptance and peace. And that just changes the whole idea of death from something really bothers me, like I'm really bothered, to something that acceptance of that. So this is very much my discussion on the subconscious and scary dreams, because I want you guys to know that scary dreams is not something, there's something wrong with you. No. You just need to, again, mantras, really get into the vibe of frequency sounds, especially mantras, because your higher intelligence will literally know what to do. Your body knows what to do. You just have to train it. Okay, so when you're faced with something scary, your higher intelligence will know, oh, I need to put that mantra in so that can clear, because your body knows how to work for you. Okay, it's just our ancestral kind of makeup. It has its own tools, but those tools are not gonna help us really. Not really gonna help us in, entering into a new paradigm of thought, because those tools, did it really work in the Dark Ages? No, because it's just the same old repetition and da-da-da-da. Same old karma again and again. So we need to input new tools to our biology, and that's mantra. And when you input those tools, your body will love it, and when those stuff comes up, your body will use it. And that's our toolkit. That's our toolkit. You put it in your body will calibrate to it. It will kind of, have it in its information, its database, okay, and it will use it. And that's how you can have the strength to transmutate the things that bother you deep inside of yourself, that you may be aware of, you may not be aware of, you may feel it, you may have dreams of it, you may go to past life regression and kind of see it. And that's ultimately, the mantra will help you to relate to the thing different, and that's it. It's just the relationship you have to it that keeps you binded to it, keeps you in a state of karma to it, where you can't let it go. Anything, relationship, past life, if you relate to the thing from a higher vibration, such as unconditional love, acceptance, compassion, you will make peace with that thing, and it will no longer be in your basement. Your basement. And then, no longer your basement, it was just clean and organized. Then we can get into changing the actual subconscious formation, and that's how we begin the process of, the new paradigm of human. Okay, all the subconscious, we got to clear it out so that we can move the actual, the construction of it. We can move it, the design, organize it in a new way for us. And that comes through the toolkit, putting in toolkits into the subconscious. And that's what's going to create a new platform or a new foundation for the future, from relating to lower energies, from lower energies to relating to lower energies from higher energies, and those higher energies will pull up the lower energies to a not so low energy, okay? We need lower energies because we're physical, so we need lower chakras, but we don't need low of the low, okay? So the higher energies, the high mantras, basically it's going deep into the subconscious, deep into the lower energies of your lives, and it's kind of pulling it up to a not so low energy, okay? So you got this, instead of like this, high energy, it pulls it up so it's a nice equilibrium. Low energy, high energy. So it's not high and you're just low, so low, where you can barely feel, see, or think of it, but it's just there bothering you and pulling on you. No, this is what we want, the nice equilibrium. So yes, I'm going to end the discussion there, and I hope you enjoyed this subconscious channeled message. Namaste.